Johnny581 back with another episode of Holes and Hunts. Thanks for tuning in. This week's going to be a bit of a mishmash of stuff I've accumulated in the last 6 or 7 days, and it's got a good mix of stuff. To start, we had start with some VHS tapes. This is WWF Most Memorable Matches of 2000, and it's still sealed. I paid 30 cents for this. It's got only a few matches on it, so about a 2-hour runtime. Has some good matches on it from some of the pay-per-views that year, but still sealed, and I have the matches elsewhere. I might as well just leave it sealed. But pretty cool for 30 cents. Also, for 30 cents, Army of Darkness VHS Collector's Edition. And obviously, you know, DVD is far superior. There's something about the charm of the horror movies on VHS, and I do have it on DVD. I have this collector's edition version on DVD, but the giant oversized clamshell is pretty good, and still has the Anchor Bay collector's edition card inside, tape, very basic, and 30 cents. I couldn't go wrong, and plus it's got the nice artwork. Another VHS. I got this from a thrift shop for $1. I love Kiss, and this is Kiss Confidential. I believe it was re-released on DVD at some point, but for $1, you know, it's got the Revenge lineup, and I didn't want to pass it up because it's still pretty cool. It's got some Kiss memorabilia that always has some value, and to me it has sentimental value as well. So those are my 3 VHS finds. I might have others. I have a few bags of stuff here. Let's go on to some Sega Genesis games. Don't go by the prices on here. I pretty much, the next batch of Genesis games I got for $50 total. And this is Animaniacs. So we got the booklet, we got the game, case, not bad. Always love the Animaniacs, all the characters from that era. Tiny Toons and Animaniacs, very, very good shows. Here's X-Men, the first one. Cover's a little warped, but not too bad. Again, don't go by the price tag. It's complete. The cartridge is in great shape. The booklet's in great shape. Just the cover or the case, I can't tell which it is yet. A little worn. I'd like to find the second X-Men game, but alright. Keeping up, we're trying to get the boxed wrestling games. We got WrestleMania, the arcade game, the Genesis version. So now I have it on PC, Super Nintendo, and Sega Genesis. They all feature a different roster. We got the booklet, got the cartridge. Everything's in very good shape. So that I'm happy about. We got the Mickey Mania, Timeless Adventures of Mickey Mouse. The first Genesis Mickey Mouse game was Castle of Illusion, and that was really cool. And I still have that one. So this one I don't really remember playing. I'm sure I did at some point, but again, we got another clean cartridge. Nice and complete with the booklet. The case is good. This pile is 10 games, so it worked out to $5 each. So we got first Mortal Kombat, which featured the blood. The Super Nintendo didn't, even though the Super Nintendo game to me was a little bit better. We have the booklet. It's missing one of the clips down here to hold the booklet in place. Not really too big of a deal. Cartridge is very clean. A game that had a lot of hype. We have Eternal Champions. This was supposed to be huge at the time. I remember being very disappointed. The biggest boasting is, I forgot how many characters. It's supposed to be like 40 or 32 players. Yeah, it was something ridiculous. So it seemed to push it because at the time most games had between 8 and 12 at best, and this game came along, but it was sort of generic. It was fun. It definitely was fun, but kind of generic, and it's one of those properties that never really got revisited too much past this time frame. I think there's a Sega CD or 32X version, but that's about it. These characters didn't really amount to much. Could come back. Sega definitely could try something with it. Maybe make a side-scroller or some kind of RPG, because there's plenty of characters. Cartridge and booklets all here. Alright. Next up, we got RoboCop vs. Terminator, which I wasn't going to take, then just kind of threw it into, and it kept lowering the prices the more I took. I remember the Super Nintendo one had a really cool case. This actually was all texture. The Genesis copy does not. I think this game is kind of hard if I remember correctly. I didn't own it, but one of my neighbors did, so we played it a lot. So, booklet, game, and I don't know what's behind here. It's always funny to look. Looks like some cheat codes that somebody took the time to write down. So we'll leave that there. Alright. Next up, Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, The Instruments of Chaos. I loved this TV show when it was on. Glad Netflix has it now because the DVDs weren't in print too long and they were very expensive. So, clean case. The booklet's black and white, which I don't like that, but I know a lot of the games did do that. The color glossy paper is a lot better, but nice and clean. Next up, Mortal Kombat 3. It's a little frayed back here, not the worst thing in the world, but the cover art's good. It's got the booklet in good shape, got a clean cartridge, so not too bad for $5. Can't complain too much. And finally, another game I wasn't going to take, but then he threw it in, and I knew I wasn't going to get them for $5 each unless I took RoboCop Terminator and this one. Golden Axe 2 is a cool game, but you can see there's some writing up here which can't really do much about. Aside from that, it's not in bad shape, except the cartridge. Now, the booklet is pretty good. It's folded a little in the middle, it's pretty good. The cartridge, just flat out missing a chunk of the sticker, and that bothered me. I'm sure the game works fine. It was just part of the package, and, you know, not too bad. I mean, his name's on here again. It's a shame when people do that. There, let's make some room. We're not done yet. We have more VHS tapes, and these are 30 cents each as well. We have WCW Superstar Series of DDP, and this had some matches, highlights, and some new footage. They made a series of these, I think Sting, DDP, Nash, and forget who the other one was, but I think there were only 4. It's pretty good for 30 cents. Absolutely cannot go wrong. And to show you how my memories work in these days, I think I just picked this up not too long ago, probably for 30 cents as well. But here's a rock, know your role, and not bad for 30 cents. I remember seeing this in the VHS pile, and then I went back and it was gone. And I don't remember if I ended up picking it up again somewhere else, but either way, for 30 cents, I'm not going to complain if I have a double. So let's get rid of these VHS tapes. Alright. Next up, I just picked up today, actually. I went into Goodwill. Sega Genesis, Toy Story 1, 99 cents. Which is kind of laying there. I've actually never seen a box Genesis game at this Goodwill, but the cartridge was perfect, the booklet was perfect. For $1, not going to pass that up. Also, for $1, as you can see here, King of the Ring 1998 WWF home video featured the Hell in a Cell match between Undertaker and Mankind when he fell off the cage, and this also had the first blood match with Kane and Stone Cold when Kane won the title, which didn't last too long. But $1, that's great. There was no other wrestling, unfortunately. Here's what I paid $5 for my last trip down to New York, and LC was with me. He found a thrift store that was pretty big and had a lot of stuff. They did have some good video games, but a lot of stuff he had, either the prices weren't right, or just stuff I had already or didn't really care for. But for the Sega Master System, we had Spider-Man, and I'm a big Spider-Man nut for anyone who knows me, so this was pretty good. I remember playing this by my cousins, because he had a Master System and I didn't. The casing's in great shape. And so is the cartridge, which, as you can see, for those not too familiar with the Master System games, they're very plain. The only thing missing was the booklet, and that kind of throws it off because it's not totally complete, but you're not going to find this all over the place, so I figured, what the hell, it's Spider-Man, something I like, let me just grab it. Maybe one day I'll find a booklet. Probably not, though. Alright, moving along. Alright. Yeah, I don't know. Let's just went to it's from a couple different stores here. Got some NES games again, and I paid $2.97 each. So here's Cobra Triangle. I remember playing, don't remember too much. Just wasn't too memorable to me. Also $2.97 Excite Bike, one of the first games. Awesome because you can make your own levels, and that's what I spent most of my time doing. I never had my own copy. I felt like it was always around my apartment, but I just never had my copy. So now I do, and happy with that. Went to a thrift store, and they had some games for $1, and ice hockey. It's one of the sports games that I actually really liked. There was just some good, simple charm about it. It was fun, arcade-style sports, and for $1, beautiful condition. Doesn't have the sleeve or the booklet, but for $1, this is great. Alright. Feel discombobulated here. From the same store, I got ice hockey, got Yoshi Safari, which you need the Super Scope 6.4 for the Super Nintendo, but it was only $2 and no tax, so wasn't going to pass that up. Eventually, I planned on getting the gun. I never got it when it first came out, so there weren't too many games for it, and obviously there aren't too many games for it, but Yoshi Safari is one of the ones I wanted to play, and never really got a chance because nobody I knew had the gun. So here we are. Same store I got the Nintendo games from just now. We got Magical Tetris Challenge. It's a Capcom game for the N64. Paid $6.97. That's what they go for up here by me, and I don't really have a problem paying $6.97 for most of the N64 games, but they're non-sports. Sometimes I feel like I overpay a little bit, but not too bad. It's a beautiful, very clean copy. The sticker comes right off. Also from the Cobra Triangle Excite Bike Day, I found Dirty Harry, the Clint Eastwood series, and this is also $2.97. That's what the NES games are there. Clean copy. Now, got some PS2 games, which got at Goodwill. Don't really see too many non-sport ones up here, but for $3.99, we got the special edition of Space Channel 5. I never played this. I remember on the Dreamcast when Space Channel 5 came out, people made a very big deal about it. How it was a unique game, fun, something different that worked, and the only other version that I know of, maybe there was one on the Xbox. I think there was on the Xbox, but it's the PS2 one. So it's a pretty cool Sega game, and got Disc 1, Disc 2, and the booklet. Everything's cool, no scratches. So I grabbed that. That was the only one laying there too. No other PS2 games. I went to a different Goodwill later that day when I was driving around. Found Romance of the Three Kingdoms 10 for the PS2. This long running series that's crossed many platforms. It was also $3.99. Booklet was here. The game was clean, so I just figured, what the hell, let me grab it. Alright. The store I got the ice hockey from, and Yoshi Safari, also for $2.75. Royal Rumble for the Genesis, which features a different roster than the one on the Super Nintendo that I picked up recently. And got the booklet, got the game, very clean, so I'm happy. Boxed wrestling collection is growing. Not bad. Also, one of my other favorite cartoons, like I mentioned before, Animaniacs, Tiny Toon Adventures. I love Buster Loose for the Super Nintendo, and this one, if I'm not mistaken, was pretty damn good too. Buster's Hidden Treasure. I never had it, borrowed it from my friend. I felt like I had it for months, and I did beat it. $4.50. Very good condition. And again, been on a roll. We got the booklet and the game. Perfect. Price is more than right. Almost done here. We got some goodies still to come. I'll save. It might be the best for last. Let's keep these out of the way. Now, these games for the PS2 aren't anything too special. It's just the price was right, and just wanted to add them to the collection. Nothing too rare. We got the first Devil May Cry. It's only $3.97. The stickers come right off. It was in perfect shape. the game, the booklet. Why not? I know there's a high-def collection of 1, 2, and 3 coming out for the PS3, but $4, I'm not going to pass it up. Also $4, we have Max Payne 2. I know Max Payne 3 is coming out soon. Hopefully the security tag comes off easily, but very clean copy. Disc in the booklet. Why not? Another Rockstar game, we have Oni. So that was $3.97. I never played this. I don't remember hearing too much about it. It was there, more of an impulse buy. I just was going through the clearance stuff they had, and I generally liked almost every Rockstar game that came out, if not all of them. So why not? And also there for $1.97 was a Max Payne 1, also a Rockstar game for PS2. Perfect shape, booklet and all. So those are just some extra PS2 games to pick up. Then we grabbed some PS1 games, and these were literally being put on the shelf as I was there, so I just took them right out of the guy's hands. For $8.97 we have Final Fantasy IX, and it's a non-greatest hits edition. We got the black label. I don't buy too many PS1 games. I don't like greatest hits editions or Player's Choice or Platinum or anything for any of the systems. But we have the booklet and both discs. Case is perfect, and $9, more than I like to pay for a used game, but I know it's worth more than $9. I don't have it, so that was a pretty good thing. Same price, Final Fantasy Anthology, which had 5 and 6 on here. Yeah, so Final Fantasy 5 and 6, same deal, non-greatest hits edition. So I took it. I probably would have left the greatest hits. That's just me being me. But disc 1, the booklet. Yeah, it's flying out of here. The bonus disc, which had I think the score, most samples of the score from both games, and the second game. So very cool, perfect shape. And the third game is one of the rarest games on the PS1. We got $9 also, Thousand Arms, one of the Atlas role-playing games for the PS1. I've seen this going recently for 60-ish, so $9 might be a lot in some regard, but not for what it's worth. It was just, again, perfect timing. Happens every so often, putting it right on the shelf, and never made it to the shelf, I just grabbed it. So when I went to check out, the cashier looked at me and he's like, "Oh, isn't that worth money?" And he had that look on his face. But that's what's good about the employees not caring or not really knowing what they have on the shelf. So he probably would have grabbed it if he saw it earlier. Disc 1, the booklet. Just flying out all over the place. And there we go. So thank you very much for watching. I know this is a longer video. Went through a lot of stuff, a lot of cool games and VHS tapes. Please check out my other videos. Subscribe if you haven't already. Comment. I like interacting with people. Let me know if any of this stuff has any nostalgic value to you. Share your thoughts. Thank you again.